Well, good morning or good day, good evening, whatever. All right, I'm back on the road. A little short trip up to New England. Right now we're on a I forgot the name of it. A soar path walking trail in South Carolina. I spent the night on the Boondocker app, and I found a driveway to crash here in Summerville, South Carolina. Nice, quiet neighborhood, and it backs up to this here bike path. So we went for a walk last night, and then we got out here at dark this morning about 6:30, walking again. And I got a new partner, and we met about a week ago, and so she's going to be my co-pilot here. I'll introduce you to her in a minute. And so we're heading up to New England. Unfortunately, my mother fell, 91 years old. She broke her hip. So she's coming out of rehab this week, so I'm going to go up and spend some time with her, help her get settled in her house, and do errands for her. But she's walking now with a walker, so she's doing good. But I'm going to go up there and give her a hand. So that's what we're doing. We're on our way to New England. So let me show you Molly. Molly is my new travel companion. Sit. Say hello to Molly. Hey, say hello to Molly. Yep, she's a AKA chocolate lab. She's 13 months old. Sweet little dog. Oh, unbelievable. And learning already, just learning. She's housebroken. So I'll tell you the story how I found her. Turn this around. Oops, wait a minute. I'll be right back to you. I'm all tangled up here. All right. I don't know how I can do this without dropping my phone. Okay, here we go. I guess that might work, huh? All right, so we're about 3 miles into this walk. It's a 7-mile path, and out and back, would be 14, but we are actually halfway, so we did one half of it, so we'll end up being a 7-mile walk this morning. So yeah, the story with Molly, it's kind of a sad story. So I've been looking for the last month. I was going to rehome. I was going to adopt a dog, and just didn't. All the dogs I looked at, they're all mixed and breed, and I don't know. None of them caught my fancy, and so then I called my breeder up in New England, the one that we got our last dog from, Henna, and who passed away just about a year ago. I don't know if any of you know that. I don't think I said anything here on the channel. But yeah, she was 14 years old, and so she lived a long life as a lab, a happy one. She's got more miles on the Appalachian Trail than most humans do. Yeah, she was a backpacker. This one here is going to be the same thing, I can tell already. So I've been without a dog for just about a year, and the last couple of trips out west were nice, but I was just missing something. It was too quiet. It was just too quiet in the van. I was going crazy. So I looked out west. I made a couple of calls when I was going through Phoenix and Tucson at a couple of shelters, and they again didn't have anything. So then I started on this kick, because I have a small ranch and I have a few head of cattle back at my home base, that I would just get a cattle dog. So I started looking at the Australian cattle dogs, and almost picked one up. It was at a shelter. What was the story about that dog? The people had to move with the economy and stuff, and they just couldn't afford the dog. So I almost got the dog. The dog was a 8-hour ride from my house, though. It was up in the panhandle of Florida, Pensacola, Florida. And in the process of her doing her final evaluation with that Australian cattle dog, that weekend I happened to go online to a adoption app, and I punched in Florida. Well, first they have all the breeds. You click a breed that you're interested in. So just for the heck of it, I punched in lab, and 148 of them came up adoptable in Florida. And I'm going, wow. So I went in. 98% of them are all mixed breeds with all kinds of dogs. So the pit bulls, just all kinds of dogs. Shepherds mixed. And I didn't want a mixed dog. And then I scrolled down and I came across Molly's picture, and it said pure. Well, it didn't say pure, it just said chocolate lab, and it didn't have mix in parentheses beside it. So that told me that it was a pure dog, purebred. So I shot him an email, and I don't know, a couple hours later they got back to me and they said, first I asked in the email, is Marley still available? Because the ad was placed 1 week ago, prior to me looking at the ad. It has how long the ad's been up on this app. It said 1 week. So when I sent the email, that was one of the questions, is she still available? And they got back to me and they said yes. So and she sent me her phone number too. It was a, how can I say this? It wasn't an adoption. It wasn't a kennel. It was a home. It was a home excuse me. They take in sheltered dogs, labs basically. She took in labs, and she trained them until somebody came along and would adopt them from her. So she sent me her number, and then we chatted for a while over the phone, and then we made arrangements that I would run up. She was I'm in Southwest Florida, down by Fort Myers. And Molly and this establishment is up near Jacksonville. It was a 4-hour ride for me, but we made arrangements. I went up there, and she was chained to a tree. They had like 5 other labs. They didn't have a kennel for her, so they kept her on a tree. And the story, the reason how they got a hold of her was this gentleman picked her up. Oh, she's peeing. That's a big thing for me, because she's getting trained. Good girl. So he picked her up, 12 weeks old, and then a couple months later he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. So they had to take the dog because he never left the hospital. So they got the word from him before he passed that they wanted her to be rehomed, and biker there. So that's the story on Molly. Is for her, that's why she had to be rehomed. Her master was ill, so I picked her up, and it took a couple of days, but I've had her now for a week. This has been 1 week, and she's just super. I have a feeling she's been under some sort of training before I got a hold of her, because she just seems to catch on to like this walking. She's not pulling me. She pulls me if I don't put the leash around her nose. You see how I have Molly, where are you? I'm trying to get you here. Where are you? See how I have it on her nose? Well, I do that, it doesn't hurt him at all. So when she pulls on the collar, it puts a little pressure on her snout, and she doesn't. Most dogs don't like that. So I have yet. Look at. She just walks right beside me like you wouldn't believe she's 13 months old. But when I take the leash off her nose and I just have it on her collar, then she's a 1 year pup. She's pulling me. Oh, unbelievable. So that's a little trick. If you got a young dog that's constantly taking you for a walk, try this. You can learn how to do it online. Go to YouTube under training walking dogs or whatever, and there's only a couple of trainers that do this snout trick. All the others are yanking the dog with choke chains, and I don't like that. That's cruel. This here there is no yanking. I mean, it's unbelievable. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're walking, we're training. In a couple of weeks, when we come back from up in New England, we're gonna go up to the Appalachian Trail, and we're gonna do a couple of nights and days on the trail. And I'm sure she's gonna do fine. Yep. So we're gonna do some backpacking, and then we're gonna hit the van. We're gonna hit the road again on a real trip. This is a medical assistant run that we're doing right now. But yeah, after we get back, I got to do my taxes, and so I got to make sure I get that in before April 15th. And look at I got the camera going. We got a hawk. It just flew right in front of us here. Beautiful. So we'll hit the road. Haven't decided where I want to go. Somebody asked me that yesterday. They love the van. Everywhere I go, people are stopping me. And so this one guy, he goes, they race paddle boards. I met him at a Buc-ee's getting fuel yesterday. And they were coming back from a race somewhere down here in the Carolinas. And they want to get a van so that when they go to these races, they can stay in the van. So he was asking me about it. And yeah, I get remarked about it all the time. I love it. I'm not happy about all the breakdowns. It's really got me frustrated, especially Winnebago. And I'm not going to go through that again, but anyway, yeah, so we'll get on the road again. I'll figure it. So he was asking me how I figure out where to go, and I told him, I said, it's a whim. I just get a whim. Like this winter, I wanted to go snowboarding, so I made a couple of trips to northern Arizona and New Mexico, and I did snowboarding, and then I wanted to thaw out, so I went down to Yuma, Arizona, down by the border, the Mexican border, and I stayed there for a couple of weeks. And then I just took my time, headed east, hit a few national monuments. I did one national park, and yeah, it's so yeah. When you're retired and you have all this free time and you can basically do whatever you want to do, yeah, it gets a little overwhelming. Like, all right, where do you want to go now? So I'm at that point where, oh, she's sniffing. So I'm at that point where, when I came back the last trip, I came down through Alabama. I kind of fell in love with Alabama. I don't know. There's a huge Telegata, or Telenot. I don't know. There's a forest, a national forest. Telegator. They have a race there too, a NASCAR race in that area. I looked on the map, and I've been watching YouTubes from that area, and there's a lot of backcountry exploring to do in Alabama. So before it gets too hot and buggy, I think we might end up going to Alabama. It's only really maybe a 12-hour ride for me from where I am in southwest Florida. So once I get up there, then we're going to do some exploring there. I think something I want to do. And then later this summer, we're going to go up to Maine and hunt down the ghost trains of northern woods. That's going to come up before summer. I want to get up there. I'm thinking June, the latter part of June. So, yep. So this is a short video. I just thought I'd oh, come on, how come this thing's not working? Oh, I can't, I'll have to cut this section out. I can't. Oh, here we go, there's a button. Molly, yeah, it's a good little girl. All right, sorry, I had trouble. I got a new phone. It's a Galaxy S24 Ultra with the 1 terabyte of memory on it, and then that's one reason why I went with the new phone, because of the memory. And this is the camera on it. Well, that's the one I'm using now. I love the camera. Look at the colors. So I'm going to lighten my load when I go backpacking. I don't have to take the GoPros and all the batteries. And so that's what I'm using right now, is the new S24 Ultra. And I got a good deal on it too. I had an old Note. It was a Note 10, and they gave me $800 for it. I could not believe it. You traded it in. They said any workable phone, and they had a list, and the older the phone, the less they gave you. But that phone was, I believe it was $700 or $800, and yeah, so I put that, and then they had zero financing for 2 years. So yeah, I'll use their money. So I didn't really have to come up with a lot of cash up front. In fact, I didn't come up with any cash up front. So yeah, it was a good deal. So this is it. So if you're looking for a new phone to take videos and vlog, or just take pictures, this I highly recommend this thing. This is awesome. And it's got the wireless charging. I ended up going with this new case. It's like a ring. I showed you on the previous video, 1 or 2 back. I showed you my new phone holders for the van. That ring. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, you can go back and look up that other video. Yeah, I really like that. I got those mounted all inside the van, so wherever I am, I just put the phone right up on the wall, because it's magnetic, it sticks right to the charger, and it's a wireless charger, so no more plugging in cords and everything. Yeah, really nice system. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head back up north. I don't know if I do anything interesting up north. I may go to New Hampshire. I got to visit my sister-in-law. They have a cabin up there, and they're opening it up early this year. You know, de-winterizing it, you might say. So I'm going to go up there, maybe visit them, and while I'm up there, maybe Henry and I will do some hiking in the White Mountains. Although they had 8 inches of snow a day or two ago, but they're getting a big rainstorm in another couple of days, so that basically out of the mountains they have no snow. It's been a real bad winter for them so far, and here we are, the middle of March, so we're coming out of winter now, we're heading into spring. So if there's anything interesting there, if I do anything interesting, rather, I'll document it and let you know. Okay. Oh, I found a boondocking spot right off of this trail, too. So I'm going to start accumulating all these boondocking spots that I find. And I'm going to have a private page. And those that subscribe to me will find all my boondocking spots. I'm going to have them all posted, but I'm not going to do it on an open format. It's going to have to be on my private site. So I'm working on that. That may be a few months down the road, but I decided I'm going to do that. I'm not going to keep a lot of these spots to myself, because a lot of these spots may be years before I come back to them. It's not like it's in my backyard somewhere in my neighborhood. So I won't mind sharing them. Hopefully people won't trash them and they won't start closing them down. That's the only thing. All right, I'm rambling. All right, guys. Molly, say goodbye. Say goodbye. Bye.